You know, there are 1.5 billion. That's 1,500,000,000 Muslims in the world. 1 out of 4 people on the planet is Muslim. And most experts say it's the fastest growing religion on earth. To most of us, Islam is a mystery, but it seems to be at odds with Christianity, Judaism, and what we all refer to as the Western world.
On September 11th, 2001, with the Pentagon on fire and New York's Twin Towers crumbling to the ground, Americans learned a lot about radical extremists inside the Islamic world. Our eyes were opened to the violent hatred for America. Now that the U.S. has been fighting in Iraq for nearly 4 years, questions about Muslim religion, culture, and history have been raised here in America. Most Muslims insist Islam is a peaceful religion, yet most of us are exposed only to the violence and hatred. This man, Usama Dakdak, is a Christian from Egypt. He runs an international organization called the Straight Way of Grace Ministries.
A world in turmoil, 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 turmoil. Daily newscasts filled with scenes of violence and unrest. All eyes seem to be fixed on the Middle East.
Dakdak travels the world talking about Islam. He reaches out to Muslims and people of all faiths. His ministry has fanned the flames of controversy, and you're about to find out why.
And folks, Usama Dakdak, founder of the Straight Way of Grace Ministry, is here in South Mississippi, and we are happy to have him as our special guest here on Sunday night. Listen carefully to what he has to say. Mr. Dakdak, thanks for joining us on the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm going to have to tell you I'm a little uncomfortable with the subject tonight, only because I personally don't know much about Islam. I know nothing about the Quran, and I don't like being in a position where I can't challenge a guest. But after looking at your website and reading about you, I thought it was very important to have you here on our show, especially with what is going on in the world today.
I can tell, brother, that not only you do not know too much about Islam, most Muslim people do not know much about Islam. 87% of the Muslim people around the world have never read the Quran, simply because they could not read Arabic. Only 13% of the Muslim people in the world who speak Arabic, which are Arab, know a little bit, not all of them, some of them know a little bit about the Quran. I think the best thing we do is let the Quran speak for itself, let Islam speak for itself. When somebody speaks about Islam from his own opinion, he will get in trouble, and then he will be forced to give an apology.
What do you say to somebody who says we have a peaceful religion that has been hijacked by extremists in the Muslim world, the Islamic jihadists, if you will? Is it a peaceful religion?
The answer is, let's read the Quran, let the Quran speak for itself. Most people who speak in favor of Islam have not read the Quran, have not read or understand what the Quran teach. Islam is what the Quran teach, is not what Muslim people do. And I believe some people like that, maybe he a little bit confused. He wished to be what he believed. I mean, fighting is ordained for Muslim, the Quran teach, even if they hate it. And said, God said in the Quran, and we can show the verse a little bit here, that they are ordained to go and fight, even if they hate it. So some of these Muslim people don't like to go and fight, don't like to go and kill. Why you have to kill other people around you? They would like to be friendly, they would like to be nice people, but the Quran also teach you should not be friend.
Now, are you trying to convert Muslims to Christianity? Is that the mission of the Straight Way Grace of Ministry?
The Straight Way of Grace Ministry is the answer for the Muslim prayer. They pray 20-some many times a day about seeking God's straight way. Show us, lead us the straight way. As they pray, اهدنا الطريق المستقيم أو صراط المستقيم. And the answer obviously comes from the Bible. Jesus answered, I am the way, I am the truth, I am the life. No one can come to the Father except through me.
So is your mission to convert Muslims to Christianity?
Tell them the truth about Christ and tell them the false on their faith, and it's up to them. It's none of us to lead somebody to Christ or not.
Why then, from what you've learned in your travels, why don't moderate, reasonable, rational Muslims challenge the extremists in the world of Islam?
There is no challenge. The moderate are speaking from their head. They're telling the world, we love the Christian, we love the Jew. But the Quran does not teach that. Chapter 5, verse 51, Surah Al-Ma'idah, it clearly teaches, O you who believe, take not the Jew or Christian for friend, for they are friend to one another. Who among you taketh them for friend, become one of them. Lo, Allah God is not wrongdoing folks or wrongdoing people. So the Quran clearly teaches not to be friend with a Jew and Christian. But the moderate Muslim will tell you, we love you. We love America, we love the Jew, we love the Christian. They are ignorant of their book. What challenge are you going to put there?
But you will admit that even within Christianity, there are extremists. There has been throughout the history of the world. Anybody who blows up an abortion clinic in the name of Jesus is a Christian extremist.
Brother, let me explain this one thing for you, very important here. Christianity is what the Bible teaches, is not what the people do. Show me a verse in the Bible said, go and kill somebody because he have performed abortion. As a matter of fact, Christianity teaches us to love those who harm us. As a Christian, I'm commanded by Christ to love the Muslim people even if they hated me and they wish me death. There is no teaching in the Bible to commit such a crime. Christianity, the extremist Christian is to be like Christ. The extremist Muslim to be like Muhammad, and the extremist Christian is to love even the enemy, as the extremist Muslim is to kill as Muhammad did.
What was it like growing up as a Christian in Egypt, in a Muslim-dominated country?
It's tough. I just come out from Egypt 4 or 5 days ago. I was there for 3 weeks. It is total persecution for Christians there, right and left. Some of the leaders of the church are denying it because they don't want to have troubles. They don't want to get themselves in a situation. They say, we're okay. No, we're not okay. I've seen my own family are persecuted. I've seen how tough it is for me as a student to go to school. It's hard for Christians to get a job. It is total persecution. Christians in Egypt are persecuted. Show me freedom for a man to choose to become a Christian in Egypt. 2 things happen to a Christian person who come out of Islamic faith: to be killed by his own family, to put in prison, and persecuted inside our prison system by the police and others. I'm talking about difficult times.
Back in 1988, an author, Salman Rushdie, wrote satanic verses, and right away there was a death sentence, a price put on his head by, I think, the Ayatollah.
Oh, and you know what his book is about? It's about truth in the Quran.
Translations from the Quran.
There's verses in the Quran teaches. Let me give you most people in America don't even know what is satanic verses. Muhammad, in his writing to the Quran, he met with 3 verses he put in the Quran, which he said, in the beginning, he claimed this is verses given to him by God. Where in it he praised and speak very highly, very good for 3 gods, Allati wal-Uzza wal-Mana. He said that Allati wal-Uzza wal-Mana are good gods, and people can, claiming that they can intercede by the behalf of the people before God. People who worship these gods, they were happy. They shout, Allahu Akbar, and they believed in Muhammad. A little bit later, when Muhammad became a strong man, he had lots of followers, he said, wait a minute, this verses was not true. This verses has been given to me by Satan. And that's why he take it off the Quran. And he said even in his defenses that every prophet has existed on planet Earth. Satan has given him a verse or 2. I say that never happened. Show me in the Bible a prophet. And then when Salman Rushdie talk about it, now he became an enemy of Islam. We're talking about truth in the book of the Quran.
2 more things before we go to break. All of our lines are lit up tonight. As I said, go to thestraightway.org, preferably not during the show, maybe after the show. Although if you'd like to have it up on your computer while we continue with the show, that's okay. I talked about Salman Rushdie. Recently we had the Danish cartoonist who did the cartoon with Mohammed. We had the Pope who made remarks, and what we saw around the Muslim world was violence. Here
is the oxymoron. They tell you we're a loving, peaceful people. We're a loving, peaceful religion. But how dare you draw cartoon? And nothing wrong with the 10 cartoon. I've seen all of them. I show them to you.
I've seen the cartoon. There's nothing wrong with
the cartoon. But how dare you call me extremist, hateful religion? I'm going to burn your church. I'm going to kill you. Well, I think the actions speak for itself. Islam, if you read the Quran, you find over 300 verses teach hate. Not 1 verse teach love. Show me the love of the Quran. Show me the peace of Islam, and I will believe in it.
You're getting ready.